fortunate to have an old friend filming with us this week in the 10,000 Islands where I live. And Bernie Shultz and I go back 30 plus years. We met years and years and years ago at a Ranger Boats function, and back in my days when I was chasing little green fish on the BASS Bassmaster Tour, like Bernie. Bernie is one of the elite series pro anglers for BASS. And well, I'll tell you what, there aren't very many of those guys. There's around 100. And they're an elite group. And he called me, he says, you know, it's been a very trying year for me. He said, I need a little therapy, and you're just the guy. So we're gonna go have some fun, and hopefully Bernie's gonna enjoy himself. There's really a good bite going on right now in the 10,000 Islands, Everglades area. There's a lot of fish out front. There's a lot of fish in the back. We're in the middle of a transition. These fish are post-spawn. They're really putting the feed bag on. They're in a lot of places. And basically you just have to set up a run. You just go spot to spot to spot to spot, because these fish are moving, and you really can't fall in love with any particular area because it's more of a pattern than it is a spot. All right, now this is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if you realize it, but I've got Bernie Shultz with me. And Bernie and I go back a ways. You've seen him on this show countless times, and he is a plug aficionado. And this morning, we may cast the long rod a little bit, break it up some.
That'd be cool.
It is early in the morning, and we're in the 10,000 Islands. You're in my house, buddy.
I like it.
And you've just come off a strenuous season on the Bass Elite Tour.
Challenging.
Challenging. Let's just say it was challenging.
Yeah.
And for a guy that's been doing it for 30 plus years, that's remarkable in itself. And we're not going to do any bass fishing today.
That's a good thing.
We're going to try to catch some snook, maybe some tarpon, and take you to some of these places that I call home.
I'm ready, brother. Let's go.
I appreciate you being here. Y'all stay tuned. I'm hoping this is going to be pretty hot. The backcountry is absolutely loaded with baby tarpon and giant snook right now. And Bernie is an excellent plug caster. And I said, this is just going to be, it's going to be fun on a number of counts, but that guy with his precision casting, I have no doubt that we're going to have a great time. Is this gorgeous?
Yeah, man.
Got it. Came out after it. Good one. Oh no!
Let me tell you, let me qualify this right now. We don't use nets on tour.
I guess you don't.
We don't use nets on tour.
Dude, you're fired.
We do better without the net in my case.
No, sir. No, sir. You just...
That's funny. That's funny.
Come on, man.
You got to see him. You got to see him. You just didn't get to hold him.
Look, do we need a bigger net?
You need a different net, man, is what you need.
You're killing me, dude. All right, now look here. This is 60-pound leader, and I want you to feel that right there.
Yeah, he's chomped it up.
Look at that chafe right there. You're saying 60? I said, uh-huh, because that one I just lost, they're in here 3 times that big. Oh, man. Okay, slow down, Hardy. Slow down. Oh, Lord. Now, if you know anything about me at all, if I've got another angler in the boat, we're not throwing the same thing to start with. In this situation, I'm throwing a DOA 5.5-inch soft plastic jerkbait on an 1/8 ounce premium DOA jig head. And I'm fishing it erratically, and I'm fishing it fast. I'm trying to get a reaction strike. In case these fish aren't feeding, you can trigger a lot of strikes with these fish if they're complacent.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
A couple of indicators for me when I pull into these backcountry areas, if I'm seeing kingfisher activity, that represents a bird that is feeding on small minnows, rainbait, fry, and that is just the basis of the food chain. In addition to that, I really get excited when I pull into a creek or a little bight and there's lots of alligators. Now, that presents a problem logistically because they can be a nuisance. They're apex predators, they're dinosaurs, they've been on this planet a million years. It's amazing how you look around and you see nothing. And then all of a sudden you hook a fish, splish, splash, splash, and you look up and there he is, 5 feet from the boat. It's a little unnerving. You've got to be really keen and just have all your senses going because you can have a problem with an alligator with a fish.
I'm not on him.
Oh, this is big.
Keep him tight, bro.
This fish has got some shoulders. That's a nice snook.
Where's he at?
Right here. Right here on the left. Coming up.
Oh yeah, good one. Looks like it's got files. Oh, he's got
Ooh, that's a good one. Woo-hoo, Bernie.
Coming around. Yeah, Daddy.
That's how you met one right
Yeah,
there, Bernie.
Daddy.
Good one, dude.
Thank you.
You got it, man.
okay.
Yeah, take it out there first. There you go. Yeah, it was right along the edge like you called it.
I mean, the first time one grabbed it, he jumped off. And there's a bunch of them over there. That's a good little snook right there.
Yeah.
Another great thing when you pull into these backcountry areas, these snook are feeding on a number of different forage species. And in the backcountry, there's a lot of mahara. And that is basically that's like a gummy bear for a snook. I mean, they eat those things. And there's also cichlids. There's obviously some mullet involved, some shrimp. But in this case, they're keying primarily on smaller baits, but there are mahara present.
Good fish, Bernie.
Dude, thank you very much. That was awesome.
Hopefully we'll get many more like that today.
There he is. All right,
Huge,
Ray.
huge, huge, dude.
Is that a snook?
Tarpon.
Boy, they're hardly jumping, you know it?
You had to say that, didn't you?
That's what we want.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. He's not. That's so cool on light tackle.
I know, man.
I mean, that's a bass rod you're fishing with. That's a bass rod you're fishing with.
Here you go. Scoop him. All right, Bern, you put him in the net, dude.
I got one.
Thank you.
Very nice.
That's a perfect size, Bernie.
Very nice.
And
All
can
right.
still put a can of whoop on you.
Well, the tackle you're using is just, you know, that makes it all fair.
I'm using a medium light bait casting rod.
And this is like the octagon right here. I mean, these fish they control the ring. I mean, they do what they want to do, and you just hang on pretty much.
It is so cool. Look at that little animal right there. How much respect for that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I want to get her back in the pond.
All right, now we're armed with fairly heavy tackle. The heavy part is my leader. First of all, if you look at what I'm dealing with here, there's trees here, there's trees here, there's trees all over the place. These fish are ambush predators. There's heavy current and they're reacting. They're not sitting there like in a beach scenario where they can get analytic and focus on that presentation. This is a reaction bite. quite frankly, I could have had a 100-pound leader, it wouldn't have mattered. But the benefit of that 60-pound for me is that now I have a heavy enough leader to pull them out of those trees. Because if you've never fished a tight place, a lot of things can happen, and most of them are bad.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
We're fishing a very fast cadence. Twitch, twitch, twitch. We're not pausing at all. We're just bringing it, man, because where these creeks intersect and there's so much current and these fish are laid up, if that bait comes by slowly, they have a longer time to analyze it. And that's just not going to be beneficial. So we're working the baits fast, in a lot of cases getting a reaction strike, and they are crushing it.
Little bayou tiger. That is a hot color. Not just in the bayou.
He's on it.
Yep. Oh, God, come on, smother it, eat it. Yeah, they got him out top. Hey, one and done. Oh, and another one.
Act like a snook there.
That might have been. That is a big giant snook. Dude.
It's a tarpon.
It's a tarpon.
It's a tarpon. It's not that big.
Let me help you with that.
Take all that one and get it. Perfect.
And then pliers in.
Okay.
Just a little one, but fun nonetheless.
Perfect.
Let's get another one.
Okay, good. Sweet. That was sweet, dude.
Man, like 3 strikes, you're out. I was beginning to wonder. He got it on the 4th one.
The Rapala twitch and mullet that Bernie is fishing with has 2 single hooks on it. I applaud the companies that have the sense to come with a series of baits like that, because treble hooks are so problematic in so many situations with these fish. First of all, if you hook them deep, it almost automatically kills them. The single hooks increase that decrease that delayed mortality tremendously. And a lot of guys say, well, I miss fish on those. Well, the only time you miss a fish on a single hook bait is if it's a reaction strike and he's swiping at it and he's not really trying to eat it. And in those cases, a treble hook would snag him in the side of the cheek or under the chin. And I'm trying to get away from that. Now I really, really like those kind of baits.
Oh, I got a good one.
You do?
Yeah, I saw him eat it.
Oh, good. I didn't get the trolling motor down, Bernie. Oh, that's a good one.
He's not as big as I thought, but he's a nice one.
There's nothing wrong with that. We'll do till a bigger one comes along.
Nice.
That's a good one, Bernie. Dude, I didn't even get the trolling motor down. I was putting the trolling motor down and
I kind of jumped the gun on that. I'm sorry, man. That's, what can I say?
well, apology accepted.
The spot just looked too good. It's right in the corner and the branch sticking out further than everything else.
That was
Had to
fine.
have it.
Yeah, well.
Had to have it.
Good one, Bernie.
Yeah, man.
Good thing you got rid of that snook. Look who's here.
Yeah. Opportunistic feeder right there.
I mean, a little bit of splashing, and they come just out of the weeds. You know, this is a perfect example because they're so stealthy that you get preoccupied releasing your fish, and you got them down in the water with your hand. And not only are gators a problem, but those little 3-foot bull sharks that swim around in here.
Yeah, yeah.
You really got to be vigilant. You really got to be on your toes because that guy grabs your hand,
Gone.
does a roll,
Yep.
and now you got a stub.
Yep.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Bob's Machine Shop. Go fast, go shallow, go efficient. Power Pole, shallow water anchor.
Now the equipment, the delivery system, if you will, in this show for me was real simple. I'm making fairly short, precise casts. I'm not usually casting much more than 40 or 50 feet. And I can do that very, very accurately with a 6.5 foot bait casting rod, saltwater series, larger guide so it'll accommodate. Remember, I'm using a 60-pound leader. You gotta remember that snook that live in current, these are athletes, these are muscled up animals. And as soon as they grab that bait, they lock in the hubs and they just go traction right to the trees. And you've got to pull on them. You've got to have a rod that first of all has got a tip where you can make a delicate presentation, an accurate presentation, but then you've got to have some beef in the butt where you can really bear down and pull on these fish. And this is what really got them fired up. That's that Bayou Tiger DOA 5.5 inch soft jerk bait on an 1/8 ounce premium DOA jig head. Look at the gap on that jig head from the plastic. That's what increases your hookup percentages, okay? And when that fish grabs this, chances are 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna win. Now Bernie was using Rapala's Twitch and Mullet series, and this is the actual bait. I'm gonna show you a close-up of this bait in a second, because it was brand new out of the box. And it looks like it's gone down 5 miles of bad country road being dragged behind a truck, okay? But this is the bait that he caught his fish on. Look at those beautiful, super sharp single rigging hooks, VMCs. This bait comes already like this out of the box. No alterations needed. I think that's fantastic. And that is your Rapala Twitch and Mullet. Comes in a number of different color combinations and 2 sizes. I highly recommend these baits. They're very, very effective. A little better one there, bro.
Oh, this is a decent fish.
Is it good?
Not huge, but
Told him I was on this for you. Ain't nothing wrong with that one, dude. He's fixing to kick your butt. Nice one, Bernie. Lift him when you get him to the boat like that.
likes it under there. Bringing him around. That's not bad.
Not a bad one.
Not bad.
Not a bad one. Okay.
Not yet.
That's a beautiful fish.
Yeah, man.
Look how flat their bellies are. They got that sloping head, so they're laying that current.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just so hydrodynamic. You're hydro.
That's what it's about, brother. That's what it's about.
Good fish, dude.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was a
you.
good one.
Yeah, they've been consistent. I mean, they're right in that range, you know.
Yep. Now we've seen a couple of bigger ones take a swat at it, but that's snook fishing.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
tell you what, man. It's the heat of the day. I don't know how many more you want to catch. I think a cold drink and a cheeseburger sounds good.
Yeah, let's leave a few for tomorrow and go have something to eat.
All right.
All
Hey,
right, brother.
way to
Thank you.
fish hard.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Remember, fish hard. You don't get this day back. Till next time, tight lines. Man, I'm really thankful that Bernie took my call and said, you know what, I definitely want to come down and shoot a show with you and spend a day on the water with you. You know, we're old friends. We go back a long, long ways and have so much in common. I mean, he was a big factor back in the day, a big part of the impetus for Ranger coming with our saltwater series of boats. You know, it probably would have fell on deaf ears if it was just me barking at the guys up and flipping saying, hey, you know, it'd be nice if we had this and we had that to fish the brine. But when you had great anglers like Bernie contributing, that really helped us get the deal done. And what a wonderful day we had on the water. Two old friends getting to share some epic moments. I appreciate it, Bernie, thanks.